I stood in my office at the construction firm where Id worked for 43 years, staring at my phone like it was a snake. The voicemail from Travis played again, and each word felt like a knife twisting deeper. My son's voice dripped with smugness, almost gleeful. "Hey, Dad. Just wanted to let you know I canceled that credit card you gave me access to. Figure you'll be calling me pretty soon, begging me to turn it back on. Maybe then we can talk about that loan on my terms." He actually laughed before hanging up. My hands trembled as I set the phone down. For 32 years, Id supported this boy, paid his rent, his car, his groceries, everything. And this is how he repays me? By trying to manipulate me? My late wife Margaret's face flashed through my mind. She'd know what to do. But Margaret was gone 7 years now, taken by cancer that ravaged her body in 6 brutal months. Since then, it'd been soft with Travis. Too soft. That ended today. Tonight, everything was going to change. I leaned back in my chair, the old leather creaking under my weight. 68 years old, and I was still learning hard lessons about fatherhood. The afternoon sun slanted through the blinds, casting bars of light across my desk. I couldn't focus on the blueprint in front of me. All I could think about was how we got here. Travis had been such a bright kid. Quick with numbers, charming, always knew how to work a room. Margaret and I had such hopes for him. College scholarship, engineering degree like his old man, maybe take over the family legacy. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. Travis discovered he could talk his way out of consequences, and I discovered I couldn't say no to my only child. After Margaret died, everything got worse. I was drowning in grief, barely functional for that first year. Travis was 25 then, already struggling to hold down jobs. I told myself I was helping him through his mother's death, but really, I was trying to fill the void Margaret left by throwing money at my son's problems. Now Travis was 32, married for 3 years to a sweet woman named Diane. They lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Portland that cost $2,400 a month. It'd been paying that rent for 2 solid years. Travis always had an excuse. The job didn't pay enough. The boss was unreasonable. The company was downsizing. Head had 6 different jobs in 4 years, and each time he quit or got fired, I was there with my checkbook. 2 weeks ago, things came to a head. Travis showed up at my house on a Sunday morning, all excited. He had this revolutionary idea for a food truck business, gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches with exotic ingredients. He needed $75,000 and wanted me to co-sign the loan. Id sat across from him at my kitchen table, the same table where Margaret and I had shared 38 years of breakfasts together. I looked at my son, really looked at him, and saw a man-child who'd never faced a real consequence in his life. "No," I said simply. Travis blinked like Id spoken in another language. "What?" I said, "No, son. I'm not co-signing that loan." His face went red. "Are you serious? Dad, this is my dream. This could set me up for life. Travis, you've never run a business. You've never stuck with anything longer than 18 months. What makes you think this will be different? Because it will." He slammed his hand on the table. "God, you never believed in me. Mom would have supported me. That hurt, but I held firm. Your mother would have wanted you to show some responsibility first. Get a job, keep it for a year. Show me you can commit to something, then we'll talk." Travis stood up so fast his chair fell backward. "You're just a selfish old man. You're sitting on all this money while I'm struggling. Some father you are." He stormed out, and we hadn't spoken since, until today's voicemail. I picked up my phone and called my bank. The credit card Travis mentioned was actually a secondary card on my account. Had given it to him years ago for emergencies. Had been using it for everything. But the joke was on him because I still had the primary card. His canceling the secondary card did nothing to me. Next, I called Portland Property Management. A woman named Susan answered. "Hi, Susan. This is Bert Dalton. I'm the leaseholder for Unit 412 on Salmon Street." "Oh yes, Mr. Dalton. How can I help you?" My stomach twisted, but I forced the words out. I need to give notice. Am terminating the lease. 30 days from today. There was a pause. Is everything all right? Has there been a problem with the unit? No problems with the unit. Just time for a change. We worked through the details. I'd lose my deposit, but that was fine. Susan said she'd send the official notice to the current occupants. My son was about to get a very unpleasant surprise. Then I called the auto lease company and canceled the payment plan for Travis' car. That was in my name, too. As I hung up, guilt washed over me. Was I being too harsh? Then I remembered Travis' smug voice on that voicemail. No, this was necessary. He needed to learn. My phone rang. Diane. My heart sank. Bert. Her voice was thick with tears. Please, please tell me you're not really canceling the apartment. Diane, I'm sorry, but I have to. I didn't know. She was sobbing now. I didn't know Travis canceled your card. He didn't tell me. Bert, I'm pregnant. 3 months. We can't be homeless with a baby coming. The world tilted. A grandchild. My first grandchild. Diane, honey, congratulations. But this doesn't change what needs to happen. I know Travis has problems. I know he does. But please, can't we work something out? I have nowhere to go. My parents are dead. I have no siblings. It's just me and Travis. My throat tightened. This poor woman had no idea what she'd married into. Diane, you're going to be okay. I promise. But Travis needs to face what he's done. Has been lying to me, Bert. About money, about jobs, about everything. I found out last week he's been gambling online. We're $34,000 in credit card debt. I had no idea until the collectors started calling. I closed my eyes. Gambling. Of course. That explained so much. Listen to me carefully, I said. When the notice comes, when things get hard, remember you're not alone. You call me, okay? You, not Travis. Well, figure something out. She sniffled. Okay. Thank you, Bert. I'm sorry for whatever Travis did. After we hung up, I sat in my office as the sun set outside. What had I just set in motion? 3 days later, I was at home cooking dinner. Pot roast with carrots and potatoes. Margaret's recipe. The house was quiet. Too quiet, like it had been for 7 years. I'd turned on the radio for company, some oldies station playing songs from the 70s. At 6 o'clock exactly, my phone exploded with noise. Travis' name flashed on the screen. I took a breath and answered. What did you do? His scream was so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. What the hell did you do? Travis, calm down and talk to me. Calm down. We just got home and all our stuff is in the living room. The locks are changed. Diane is on the floor crying. The landlord says you canceled the lease. My car got towed because the lease payments stopped. You're destroying my life. I kept my voice level. I'm not destroying anything, son. I'm stopping myself from enabling your self-destruction. That's not the same thing. You can't just kick us out. I can, and I did. You canceled my card thinking I'd come crawling to you, begging. Well, here you are, calling me. Funny how that worked out. This is different. This is our home. Diane is pregnant. Did she tell you that? Your grandchild is going to be homeless because of you. No, Travis. Your grandchild might be homeless because of you. Because you've been gambling away your money. Because you can't keep a job. Because you thought manipulating your father was a good idea. There was heavy breathing on the other end. I made a mistake, okay? I was desperate. The business loan is our way out of debt. A food truck isn't going to save you, son. You need to save yourself. Easy for you to say. The rage in his voice was palpable. You're sitting in your paid-off house with your retirement and your savings. You don't know what it's like to struggle. I worked for 43 years to have those things. 43 years of showing up every day, doing my job, living within my means. You're 32 and you've never done any of that. So you're just going to let us be homeless. Let your grandchild grow up on the streets. I paused. This was the moment. I could cave like I always did, or I could hold firm. You can stay with me, I said finally. But there are conditions. Conditions. His voice dripped with sarcasm. Of course there are. You and Diane can stay in my house for 30 days. That's it. In those 30 days, you will find a job. Any job. I don't care if you're flipping burgers or stocking shelves. You'll get employed within 2 weeks, or you're out. If you do get a job, you can stay for the full 30 days to save up money for a deposit on a new place. Starting in month 2, if I let you stay longer, you'll pay me $800 a month in rent. Non-negotiable. Silence. Then Travis' voice changed, became softer, almost childlike. Okay, Dad. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. I really am. I just got desperate and made bad choices. I'll do better. I promise. He agreed too quickly, too easily. Warning bells went off in my head. But what choice did I have? I couldn't let Diane sleep on the streets. Come over tonight. Bring what you can fit in your cars. Well, figure out the rest tomorrow. Thanks, Dad, really. I won't let you down. After I hung up, I stared at the pot roast, bubbling on the stove. Something felt wrong. Travis had folded too fast. But maybe I was being paranoid. 3 hours later, Travis and Diane arrived with their cars packed full. Diane looked exhausted and scared. Travis looked chastened, almost humble. They made 3 trips, carrying boxes and suitcases into my guest room. The room's not huge. I apologized to Diane. But the bed's comfortable. It's perfect, Bert. Thank you so much. She hugged me, and I felt how thin she'd gotten. Travis shook my hand. I mean it, Dad. Fresh start. I wanted to believe him. That night, I went to bed around 10. My bedroom was on the first floor, the master bedroom Margaret and I had shared for 35 years. Travis and Diane were upstairs in the guest room. Around midnight, I got up to use the bathroom. On my way back, I passed my home office. The door was ajar. I always kept it locked. My heart rate picked up. I pushed the door open slowly. Everything looked normal in the darkness. I turned on the light. My desk looked fine. Computer in place, but something was off. The laptop was shifted slightly to the left. The drawer where I kept my checkbook was open a crack. I pulled it open fully. The checkbook was there, but when I counted, 1 check was missing. The bottom one, hoping I wouldn't notice right away. Fear turned my blood cold. I grabbed my phone and opened my banking app. Sure enough, there was a pending transaction. A check for $8,000, made out to Travis Dalton, cashed this afternoon at 4 p.m. This afternoon, before Id even agreed to let them stay here. Travis had stolen from me, forged my signature, cashed the check before coming over. Probably counting on my guilt about the baby to keep me from calling the police. I stood in my office, shaking with a mixture of rage and heartbreak. My own son, my own flesh and blood. What was I supposed to do now? I didn't sleep the rest of that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the old house creak and settle around me. At 5:30 in the morning, my usual wake-up time, I got up and made coffee, strong and black, the way I'd been drinking it since I was 20. At 7 a.m., I called the bank as soon as they opened. A representative named Patricia answered. Mr. Dalton, I see the check you're calling about. It was cashed yesterday at 4:17 p.m. at our downtown branch. The signature matches our records. That's because it's forged. My son stole a check from me and signed my name. Patricia's tone shifted. I'm very sorry to hear that, sir. You'll need to file a police report and bring that to the bank. We can start a fraud investigation, but it takes time. The money has already cleared into his account. $8,000, nearly half my savings. Gone. Thank you, Patricia. I'll be in touch. I hung up and stood in my kitchen, gripping the counter. Upstairs, I could hear water running. Someone was in the shower. I waited, coffee growing cold in my mug. At 7:45, Travis came downstairs in jeans and a wrinkled t-shirt. He froze when he saw me sitting at the kitchen table. Morning, Dad. You're up early. I'm always up early. Unlike some people, I worked for a living. He flinched at my tone. What's wrong? $8,000. That's what's wrong. His face went pale. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me. I slammed my hand on the table, and Travis actually jumped. You stole a check from my office. You forged my signature. The bank already confirmed it. Travis opened his mouth, closed it, then sank into a chair. Dad, I can explain. Then explain. I needed it for the business loan. It's a down payment. I was going to pay you back once the truck got going. 6 months, maybe a year tops. I was going to tell you. I just needed to time it right. You were going to tell me after you stole from me. It's not stealing. You're my father. That money will come back to me someday anyway, right? I'm just borrowing against my inheritance. The audacity of it took my breath away. Your inheritance? You think you're entitled to my money before I'm even dead? That's not what I meant. But his eyes said otherwise. Diane appeared in the doorway, looking small in an oversized nightshirt. What's going on? Your husband is a thief, I said flatly. Bert, please. Travis stood up. Don't drag her into this. Into what, Travis? Diana's voice was shaky. What did you do? Travis turned on her with sudden venom. Stay out of this. This is between me and my father. Don't you dare talk to her like that in my house. I stood up too, and even though Travis was younger and bigger, he took a step back. Diane's face crumpled. You took money from him, didn't you? Oh God, Travis. After everything we talked about, you promised. You promised me no more lying. Diane, shut up. No. Something broke in her, some final barrier. I'm done shutting up. Bert, he's been gambling online. For 3 years, we're $34,000 in credit card debt. I found out 2 weeks ago when the collectors started calling my phone. Has been hiding bills, lying about where money goes. I thought the business loan was going to fix everything, but now I see he was just going to dig us deeper. Travis' hands clenched into fists. You just betrayed me. In front of my father. You're my wife, and you're supposed to be my husband. But you're just a liar. Tears streamed down her face. Impregnant and terrified, and you're still lying and stealing. Travis pulled back his fist and punched the wall next to Diane's head. She screamed. The drywall caved in, leaving a hole the size of a grapefruit. Travis' knuckles came away bloody. I moved faster than I had in years, putting myself between them. Get away from her. Now. She's my wife. And this is my house. Get away from her or get out. Travis was breathing hard, his injured hand dripping blood on my floor. You're choosing her over me. I'm choosing what's right, like I should have done years ago. Travis grabbed his jacket from the back of a chair. Fine. I'm leaving. But I have tenant rights now, old man. I've established residency. You can't just kick me out. You'll be back. He stormed out, slamming the front door so hard a picture fell off the wall. Diane slid down the doorframe, sobbing. I knelt beside her, my old knees protesting. It's okay. You're safe. I have nowhere to go, Bert. No family, no money of my own. All our accounts are joint and they're all maxed out. I'm trapped. I helped her to the couch. Let me make some calls. First, I called the police non-emergency line, explained the situation with the check. An officer named Martinez told me I could file a report, but prosecution was complicated in parent-child situations. He suggested I might want to consider it theft by a family member, which was a civil matter. What about the violence? He punched my wall right next to his pregnant wife's head. Did he strike her? No, but he threatened her. Without witnesses or physical harm, it's hard to do much, but you can request a protective order if you feel she's in danger. After that call, I tried to think practically. Travis was right about one thing. Even without a lease, had established residency. I couldn't just change the locks. It'd have to formally evict him, which could take 30 to 60 days in Oregon. Diane had calmed down enough to talk. Bert, I need to tell you something else. My stomach dropped. What? Travis isn't just gambling. has been having an affair. I found hotel receipts and text messages 3 days ago. Some woman he met at an online casino who lives here in Portland. They've been seeing each other for 5 months. I sat down heavily. My son, the man he'd raised, had become someone I didn't recognize. Diane, honey, why are you still with him? I found out I was pregnant the same day I found out about the debt. I felt trapped. My parents died in a car accident when I was 19. I have no siblings, no cousins I'm close to. It's just me, and I thought maybe a baby would change him. Babies don't change people. People have to change themselves. She nodded, wiping her eyes. I know that now. Bert, I want to leave him. I've been planning it, but I need help. I can't do this alone. I thought of Margaret. What would she do? Shed, protect this young woman and her unborn grandchild. No question. Then you'll have help, I said. Whatever you need. Around 5 that afternoon, Travis came back. He walked in without knocking, looking smug again. Told you it'd be back. I was ready this time. Diane and I have been talking. She's going to be staying here. You're not. You can't kick me out. I know my rights. Actually, I can begin the eviction process, which I'm doing tomorrow. But there's an easier way. You leave voluntarily, right now, and I won't press charges for the check you stole. Travis laughed. You won't press charges. I'm your son. Try me. We stared at each other. Finally, Travis shrugged. Fine. Keep her. You two deserve each other. But don't think I'm going away quietly. That's my wife. That's my kid. Then act like it. Get help. Get a job. Be a man. Travis' face twisted with rage. I'm more of a man than you ever were. Mom told me once, you were boring. That she settled for you because she got pregnant and it was the 1970s. She never really loved you. The words hit like bullets. Margaret had been 3 months pregnant when we got married. Had always wondered if Shed have chosen me otherwise. Get out, I whispered. Travis smirked, knowing Head landed a blow. He grabbed a few things from upstairs and left without another word. That night, Diane cried herself to sleep in the guest room. I sat in my office, looking at the picture of Margaret on my desk. Had she really said those things, or was Travis just trying to hurt me? I'd never know. I barely slept again that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Margaret's face, heard Travis' cruel words echoing. By 4 a.m., I gave up and went to sit in the kitchen with hot tea. Margaret and I had married in June of 1976. She'd been 22, working as a secretary at the engineering firm where I was a junior draftsman. She was beautiful, smart, funny. When she told me she was pregnant, I'd been terrified but also thrilled. I loved her desperately. Had she settled? Had our 38 years together been a compromise for her? I shook my head. Travis was lashing out, trying to wound me. Margaret had told me she loved me every single day of our marriage. I had to believe that. As dawn broke, I made a decision. I was going to help Diane get away from Travis permanently. Not because I hated my son, but because I loved that unborn grandchild. And Diane deserved better. At 8 a.m., I called my old friend Harold Morrison. We'd gone to school together and had become a family law attorney. I explained the situation over the phone. Bert, I'm sorry you're going through this. Bring Diane by my office today. Let's see what we can do. By 10, Diane and I were sitting in Harold's office downtown. He was 71 now, silver-haired and sharp as ever behind wire-rimmed glasses. Diane, you have several options, Harold explained. First, legal separation. That protects you financially while you figure out what you want long-term. Second, if you feel unsafe, we can file for a protective order. Third, despite the debt being in both names, as a pregnant woman with no income, you're entitled to spousal support. Travis will have to pay something, even if it's minimal. Diane twisted her hands in her lap. I just want to be free of him, and I want my baby safe. Then we'll make that happen. It'll take time, but we'll do it right. Harold charged me a fraction of his normal rate. Old friendship paying off. We spent 3 hours going through options and paperwork. By the time we left, Diane had a plan. She was filing for legal separation immediately. Harold would request emergency spousal support at the hearing. We'd document everything: the gambling, the debt, the affair, the violence. Over the next week, Diane became a woman on a mission. She went through every document, every bank statement, every credit card bill. She screenshot every piece of evidence she could find on the shared computer. Travis' gambling sites, his messages with his affair partner, all of it. I helped her open a new bank account in her name only. I deposited $5,000 to give her a cushion. It hurt to lose more money after the $8,000 Travis stole, but it was necessary. Travis started showing up at random times, trying to catch us off guard. Head bang on the door, demanding to be let in, yelling about his rights. Each time, I told him through the door that he could schedule supervised visits with Diane if he wanted to talk, but he couldn't just barge in anymore. "You're poisoning her against me," he screamed one night at 11 p.m. "She's my wife. Then treat her like it," I shouted back. "Get help! Stop gambling! Be honest for once in your life." Neighbors started peeking out their windows. Travis finally left when someone threatened to call the police. The harassment escalated. Travis started texting Diane constantly, alternating between apologetic and abusive. "I love you. Please come home." Then 5 minutes later, "You're a disloyal witch, and I hope you lose the baby." Each message was screenshot and sent to Harold. One afternoon, I came home from the grocery store to find Travis sitting on my porch. He looked terrible: unshaven, greasy hair, clothes that hadn't been washed. "We need to talk," he said. "I have nothing to say to you." "Dad, please." 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I sat down on the porch steps beside him. He smelled like cigarettes and stale beer. "I'm in trouble," Travis said quietly. "Real trouble. The people I owe money to for gambling, they're not nice people. They're threatening me." "Then go to the police." "I can't." "Dad, you don't understand. These errant credit card companies, these are loan sharks, underground gambling operations. They want $23,000 by the end of the month, or they said they'd break my legs." Fear spiked through me. "Travis, you need to go to the police. Right now. They'll kill me if I do." "Dad, I need help. Please, one more time. Just lend me the money and I swear it'll pay you back." I looked at my son, really looked at him. His eyes were bloodshot and desperate. His hands shook. This was rock bottom, had to be. But then I remembered. Travis was a performer. Had always known how to play on my emotions. "No," I said. "No." He blinked. "Dad, they're going to hurt me." "Then go to the police. File a report. Get protection. But I'm not giving you money to pay off illegal gambling debts. That's not help. That's enabling." Travis' face hardened. "Fine. When they put me in the hospital, that's on you." "No, son. It's on you. You made these choices." He stood up and walked away without looking back. That night, I lay awake, wondering if I'd just sentenced my own son to violence. But what choice did I have? If I paid this debt, there'd be another one. And another. The cycle would never end. 2 days later, my car wouldn't start. I popped the hood and found the battery cables cut cleanly through. I knew immediately it was Travis, but I couldn't prove it. Then my bank called. Someone had tried to apply for a credit card in my name using my social security number. The application was denied due to the fraud alert ID placed after the check incident, but the attempt had come from my own home IP address. Travis had been in my house while I was out and tried to commit identity theft on his own father. I called Harold immediately. "We need to escalate this. Hez committing crimes. File a police report. Get everything documented. He'll use it in the separation hearing." That afternoon, I went to the police station and filed reports for vandalism, attempted identity theft, and harassment. Officer Martinez took my statement and photos of my cut battery cables. "Mr. Dalton, I have to ask, are you in fear for your safety?" I thought about it. Not for myself, but am worried about Diane. "We can help with a protective order." Would you like me to explain the process? By evening, I had a stack of paperwork and a court date. Diane was also filing her own protective order against Travis. Harold said these, combined with the separation filing, would paint a clear picture for the judge. But that night, something happened that changed everything. I woke at 2 a.m. to noise from the garage. I'd converted my garage into a guest space years ago for when relatives visited. It had a small bed, a bathroom, and its own entrance. I kept it locked, but I'd heard the distinct sound of the door closing, my heart pounding. I grabbed the baseball bat I'd kept by my bed since Travis started acting erratically. I crept through the house and slowly opened the door that connected the garage to the main house. Travis was inside the garage apartment, sitting on the bed. He didn't hear me. He was looking at his phone, and even from the doorway, I could see he was scrolling through photos, old photos of our family. His shoulders were shaking. He was crying. I watched him silently. On his phone screen, a picture from Travis' 8th birthday. Margaret in her yellow sundress, smiling at the camera. Travis with frosting on his face, me with my arm around both of them. "I'm so sorry, Mom," Travis whispered to the photo. "I'm so sorry. I'm going to make you proud again. I promise. I'm going to fix this. I don't know how, but I will." He wiped his eyes and kept scrolling. More pictures, Christmas mornings, graduations, vacations to the Oregon coast. Our whole life together. Travis put his head in his hands and sobbed quietly. I backed away slowly, not wanting him to know I'd seen. I went back to my room and sat on the edge of my bed, my own eyes wet. Maybe there was still hope. Maybe Travis could still find his way back. The next morning, I woke to find the garage apartment empty. Travis had left at some point during the night. I didn't mention seeing him there, but I also couldn't shake what I'd witnessed. My son, broken and remorseful in the darkness, talking to his dead mother. It almost made me want to reach out, to offer help again. Then I remembered the cut battery cables, the forged check, the violence, the lies. No, compassion was one thing, but I couldn't save Travis from himself. Only he could do that. I was 68 years old and tired, but I wasn't finished fighting yet. I'd built bridges for 43 years, structures that would outlast me. I knew how to solve complex problems, and I knew when a foundation was unstable and needed to be torn down before something new could be built. It was time to go on the offensive. First, I went to a local electronics store and bought 3 security cameras, small, wireless, hidden ones. I installed them in my living room, kitchen, and hallway, all facing common areas, all completely legal in my own home. I set them to record continuously and upload to cloud storage. Within 2 days, I had footage of Travis breaking in through a window I'd forgotten to lock. I watched on my phone at work as he went through my mail, searched my office drawers, and pocketed a $20 bill I'd left on the counter. More evidence for Harold. Next, I installed a chain lock on my bedroom door and started keeping important documents in a fireproof safe. Travis wasn't getting another chance to steal from me. Then the real evidence started piling up. My cameras caught Travis bringing 2 men into my house while I was at work. They sat on my couch, smoking something that definitely wasn't tobacco, laughing and making a mess. One of them pocketed my TV remote when they left. I saved every video clip, time-stamped and dated. Harold took all of it to court. We filed for an emergency protective order, adding the new evidence of breaking and entering, theft, and allowing drug use in my home without my permission. We also filed for formal eviction with cause. The judge was a stern woman named Patricia Brennan, somewhere in her 50s with steel gray hair. She reviewed everything. The videos, the police reports, the bank statements showing the forged check. "Mr. Dalton," she said to Travis, who'd shown up in wrinkled khakis and a stained shirt, "you've committed multiple crimes against your father. I'm granting the protective order requiring you to stay at least 50 feet from him and his residence. I'm also fast-tracking this eviction. You have 15 days to remove any remaining belongings from the property. If you violate this order, you'll be arrested immediately." Travis started to argue, but his public defender put a hand on his arm and shook his head. 15 days. Not 60, not 30, 15. Travis shot me a look of pure hatred as he left the courtroom. That night, I thought I could finally rest. But at 9 p.m., I heard breaking glass. I ran to the living room to find my front window shattered. A brick lay on my floor, surrounded by glass shards. I called the police immediately. When they arrived, they found Travis' car parked 2 blocks away. He wasn't in it, but they impounded it for violating the protective order by being within 50 feet of my house. Then things got worse. I came home from work 3 days later to devastation. Travis had broken in again, this time through the back door. Had smashed my television, poured bleach on my clothes in the bedroom, and destroyed every photo album I owned. Pictures of Margaret, torn into pieces and soaked in bleach. Our wedding photos, ruined. Baby pictures of Travis, destroyed. 38 years of memories, gone. I stood in the wreckage of my bedroom and felt something inside me break. Not my will, but my last remaining hope that Travis would somehow come to his senses on his own. I called the police. Then I called Harold. Then I sat on my front porch and cried like I hadn't cried since Margaret's funeral. Officer Martinez arrived first. He took one look at my face and said, "This is bad, isn't it?" I led him inside. He photographed everything, called for backup, put out an alert for Travis. They found him 6 hours later at a bar downtown, drunk and belligerent. He was arrested for violating the protective order, criminal mischief, breaking and entering, and destruction of property. At the police station, Travis called me from a holding cell. "Dad, please, I'm sorry. I lost control. I need help. Please don't let them keep me here." My voice was hollow. "You destroyed pictures of your mother, Travis. You destroyed the last pieces I had of her." "I wasn't thinking. I was angry. Dad, please." "No, you're going to face the consequences this time. All of them." I hung up. The next morning, Travis had a bail hearing. His bail was set at $10,000, 10% for a bond, so he'd need $1,000 cash to get out. He called me again. "Dad, I can't stay in here. Please, just bail me out, and he'll go straight to rehab. I promise." Every instinct in my body screamed to say yes. He was my son, my only child, Margaret's baby. But Margaret would be ashamed of what had become. I knew that in my bones. "I love you, son," I said quietly, "but I won't bail you out. Not this time. Not ever again. You're really going to leave me in here?" His voice broke. "Your own son. You left yourself in there. I'm just refusing to break you out." Travis started screaming curses at me. I hung up before he finished. 2 hours later, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered cautiously. "Is this Bert Dalton?" A woman's voice, young, shaky. "Who's asking?" "My name is Crystal. I'm Travis' girlfriend. I just bailed him out." My blood ran cold. "The affair partner. Why are you calling me?" "Because I need you to know what kind of man your son is." She was crying now. "I met Travis at an online casino forum 6 months ago. He told me he was single, starting a business, just needed some capital to get going. I believed him. I'm pregnant, Mr. Dalton, 4 months along. I just found out today that he's married, that his wife is also pregnant, has been lying to both of us." I sat down heavily. 2 women, 2 babies. I'm gathering evidence. I'm going to sue him for fraud and child support. I want him to pay for what he's done to both of us, but I needed you to know. Has not sorry. He just called me from jail because you wouldn't help him. I'm not his girlfriend. I'm just his backup plan." After she hung up, I sat in silence for a long time. Travis' life was imploding from every direction. 2 women pregnant with his children, gambling debts, criminal charges, estranged from his father, no job, no money, no prospects. Had built a house of cards and it was finally collapsing. The next 3 weeks were strangely quiet. Travis didn't come back, didn't call. I heard through Harold that Travis was living with Crystal in her apartment, though that situation was tense. Diane was doing better. Shed moved into a woman's shelter temporarily. and they were helping her get on her feet. Shed applied for state assistance, got enrolled in a program for pregnant mothers, and was seeing a counselor twice a week. She visited me every Sunday, and we'd have lunch together. She was stronger now, more confident. The scared, trapped woman I'd met a month ago was transforming into someone who could handle what was coming. "I'm thinking of keeping the baby's last name as mine," she told me one afternoon. "Not Dalton. I want a fresh start. What about the baby knowing its father? If Travis ever gets his act together, well, figure something out. But I won't force a relationship there if it's going to be toxic." I respected that. The legal system ground forward. The judge set a trial date for Travis' criminal charges. The divorce proceedings moved ahead. Crystal filed her paternity suit. The eviction was finalized, and Travis' few remaining belongings were put into a storage unit that He'd have to pay for himself. His car was still impounded. He'd lost his phone service for non-payment. The life He'd built on my money and on lies was gone. Then, 4 weeks after Eid last seen him, Travis showed up at my door. It was a Sunday morning, early. I was having coffee on the porch, watching the neighborhood wake up. A car I didn't recognize pulled up, and Travis got out of the passenger side. The car drove away. He looked awful. 20 pounds lighter, hollow-eyed, with a scraggly beard. His clothes hung off him. I should have gone inside and locked the door. The protective order was still active. But something in the way he walked up my driveway, head down, shoulders slumped, made me stay put. "Hey, Dad," he said quietly. "Can we talk?" I gestured to the other chair on the porch. 5 minutes. He sat down, perched on the edge like he might bolt at any moment. "I'm not here to ask for money, or a place to stay, or anything." "Then why are you here?" Travis was quiet for a long moment, staring at his hands. "I'm an addict. I'm a gambling addict. And I've destroyed everything because of it." I waited. I started in college. Just online poker, small stakes. It was fun, you know. A rush. After Mom died, it got worse. It'd gamble for hours, lose track of time. It numbed the pain. Then it became the pain. I was chasing losses, lying to cover it up. By the time I met Diane, I was already 40,000 in debt. I thought marrying her would fix me. Thought having someone to be responsible for would make me stop. But it didn't. It got worse. Every time you'd pay my rent or give me money, I'd tell myself this was the last time I needed help. Then I'd lose it all gambling and need help again. The business loan idea was real, but mostly it was just a way to cover my debts. I knew the food truck would fail. I fail at everything. He looked up at me, and I saw real pain in his eyes. The affair with Crystal. That started because we were gambling buddies. We'd go to the casino together. She's an addict too. We enabled each other. When she got pregnant, I panicked, told her I'd leave Diane. Told Diane I'd quit gambling. Told you I just needed one more chance. I lied to everyone. Yes, you did. I blamed you for everything. Said you never supported me. Said Mom didn't really love you. All lies. You were a great father. Mom adored you. I just needed you to be the villain so I didn't have to face what I'd become. Travis' voice cracked. Destroying those pictures of Mom. That was the worst thing I've ever done. I can't take it back. I hate myself for it. Dad, I'm so sorry. For all of it. The stealing, the lying, the violence. I'm sorry. I sat there, coffee going cold in my hands. What do you want from me, Travis? Nothing. I don't deserve anything from you. I just needed you to know. I'm sorry. And I'm going to get help. Real help. How? You have no money. There's a state-funded treatment program. 90 days inpatient for gambling addiction. I'm on the waiting list. 3 weeks until there's a spot. And until then, I've been sleeping in my car. Oh, wait, you had that impounded. He laughed bitterly. I'm sleeping on Crystal's couch. It's uncomfortable and we hate each other now, but it's a roof. I studied my son. He looked broken, defeated, but also, for the first time in years, honest. What happens after treatment? I asked. I find a job. Any job. Pay child support to both Diane and Crystal. Try to be a father from a distance if they'll let me. Pay you back the $8,000 I stole. Make amends. Try to rebuild some kind of life. I don't know if I can do it, but I have to try. We sat in silence. A car drove by. A bird sang in my oak tree. You can't stay here, I said finally. The protective order stands until the trial is over. I know. But I can help you find resources, treatment programs, job placement services. I won't give you money, but I can give you information. Travis nodded. That's more than I deserve. It's what your mother would have wanted me to do. His eyes filled with tears. She really loved you, Dad. What I said before, that was just me being cruel. She talked about you all the time, about how lucky she was. I was jealous of what you two had. I wanted Diane to look at me the way Mom looked at you. Something in my chest loosened, just a bit. The garage apartment, I said slowly. It has its own entrance. You wouldn't be in the main house. Against my better judgment, I'm going to let you sleep there until your treatment spot opens up. 3 weeks maximum, but there are rules. Travis looked up, hope flickering in his eyes. You don't come in the main house. You don't ask me for anything except basic necessities. You look for work, even if it's day labor. You attend Gamblers Anonymous meetings every single day. You check in with me every evening at 6 p.m. to show me you're staying clean. If you break any rule, you're out immediately. Okay. Travis was crying now. Thank you, Dad. Don't thank me yet. This is your last chance. Not just with me, but with life. You understand. I understand. We shook hands, and his grip was weak but genuine. That night, I lay in bed thinking about what I'd done. Had I just been manipulated again? Was Travis running another con? Maybe. Probably. But I'd seen something in his eyes I hadn't seen in years. Shame. Real shame. Not the performative kind. And maybe, just maybe, shame was the first step toward change. Around 2 a.m., I heard soft sounds from the garage. I got up quietly and peered through the window that looked out over the driveway. Travis was sitting on the steps of the garage apartment, looking at his phone. On the screen, pictures of Margaret, family photos. He was scrolling slowly, stopping on each one. I'm going to make you proud again, Mom, he whispered. I promise. I don't know how, but I will. I stepped back from the window, my throat tight. I'd heard those same words 4 weeks ago when I'd caught him in the garage, but this time felt different. This time, Travis wasn't just talking to a ghost. He was making a promise to himself. 6 months passed. Travis completed the 90-day inpatient program at the state treatment facility. It was hard, he told me during our weekly phone calls. He had to face the trauma underneath the addiction, the grief over losing Margaret that Head never processed, the shame of his failures, the fear that Head never be good enough. But he stayed. He didn't run. For the first time in his adult life, Travis finished something hard. When he got out, he moved into a sober living house with 7 other men in recovery. He shared a room with a guy named Patrick Hode, lost everything to alcohol. They became accountability partners. Travis got a job at a warehouse, working the night shift from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. The work was hard, physical, boring. He loaded trucks, moved pallets, did inventory. He came home exhausted and sore every morning. But he never missed a shift. 4 months in, he got promoted to shift supervisor. 25 cents more an hour. He called to tell me, pride evident in his voice. I got promoted, Dad. Me. I've never been promoted before. I'm proud of you, son. The silence on the other end told me how much he needed to hear that. He started paying me back, $50 a month, all he could afford after his rent at the sober house. Child support payments to both Diane and Crystal, and his court-ordered restitution. At that rate, it would take 13 years to repay the $8,000. I didn't care. It wasn't about the money anymore. Diane had her baby in late August, a beautiful little girl. She named her Margaret, after Travis' mother, after my wife. I cried when Diane told me. She should know who her grandmother was, Diane said, holding the tiny bundle in her arms at the hospital. And when she's old enough, he'll tell her about the man her grandmother married and how he showed me what real strength looks like. Travis visited once a week, supervised at first by a social worker. He'd hold little Margaret, talk to her softly, change her diaper. He didn't ask Diane to take him back, didn't make promises about the future, just showed up and did the work of being a father, even from a distance. Crystal had her baby in September, a healthy boy. She named him after his grandfather, Bert. When she told me, I had to sit down. That's quite an honor. I managed to say, "You're the only man in this mess who acted with integrity," Crystal said. "I want my son to have a name that means something good." Travis and Crystal worked out a co-parenting arrangement. He saw little Bert once a week, too. 2 children, 2 mothers. One father trying desperately to do right by them both. Every Sunday, Travis came to my house for dinner, just the 2 of us, sitting at the kitchen table where Margaret and I had shared thousands of meals. Sometimes we talked about deep things. Sometimes we just ate in comfortable silence. Sometimes Travis told me about work, about his meetings, about the kids. It was awkward. It was slow. Trust doesn't rebuild quickly, but it was real. One Sunday in November, almost exactly 1 year after this whole nightmare started, Travis brought something with him. A flat package wrapped in brown paper. "What's this?" I asked. "Just open it." Inside was a photograph in a new frame. It was the picture of Margaret from Travis' 8th birthday, the one I'd seen him looking at on his phone months ago. The original had been destroyed in Travis' rampage, but somehow, Head had it professionally restored. It must have cost him $300, maybe more. 2 weeks of spare money. "I can't undo what I did," Travis said quietly, "but I wanted you to have this back." I ran my fingers over the glass, over Margaret's smiling face. "Thank you, son." He nodded, blinking hard. "There's something else I need to say." "Okay. I hated you for a long time. When you cut me off, when you kicked me out, when you let me go to jail. I thought you were cruel. I thought you'd given up on me. I waited. But you saved my life, Dad. By letting me fail, by letting me hit bottom, by refusing to keep rescuing me from myself." His voice broke. "You loved me enough to watch me suffer because you knew that suffering was the only thing that would wake me up. That takes a kind of courage I didn't understand until now." We sat together on the porch as the sun set over the neighborhood, 2 coffee mugs between us, 2 men, father and son, finding their way back to each other one painful, honest step at a time. "Can I ask you something?" Travis said eventually. "Anything. How did you know when to stop helping? How did you know that was the right choice?" I thought about it. "Your mother, she taught me something during her illness. When the cancer was bad, toward the end, she was in so much pain. I wanted to do everything for her. Carry her everywhere, feed her, bathe her. But she told me, Bert, if you do everything for me, I'll forget how to do anything for myself. Let me struggle. Let me keep my dignity." I paused, remembering. She taught me that love isn't about preventing all suffering. Sometimes suffering is necessary for growth. My job wasn't to save you from every consequence. My job was to love you enough to let you face them. Travis wiped his eyes. Mom was smart. She was the smartest person I ever knew. We sat quietly as darkness fell. Finally, Travis stood to leave. "Same time next week. Same time next week." He hugged me, and I hugged him back. He still smelled like warehouse dust and cheap soap, but he was clean and sober and trying. That was enough. After he left, I went inside and hung the restored picture of Margaret in the living room. I stood there looking at her smile, at the joy in her eyes, at the family we'd been. "I hope I did right by him," I said to her picture. "I hope you're proud." The house was quiet, but I could have sworn I felt her presence, warm and approving. I learned something through all this pain and chaos. Enabling someone isn't love. It's fear. Fear of conflict, fear of loss, fear of being seen as the bad guy. But real love The kind Margaret showed me every day of our marriage requires strength. The strength to say no when yes would be easier. The strength to let go when holding on would feel safer. The strength to watch someone you love hit bottom because you know that's the only way they'll learn to climb back up. Travis still has a long road ahead. Hess not fixed. Hess healing. And that's a process that takes time, effort, and daily commitment. Some days he struggles. Some days the urge to gamble is overwhelming and he has to call his sponsor at 3 in the morning. Some days he feels like a failure as a father. But he keeps showing up. He keeps trying. And that's all any of us can really do. I'm 69 years old now. I've lived through a war, a career spanning 4 decades, a beautiful marriage, the loss of my soulmate, and the near destruction of my relationship with my only child. I've learned that the hardest thing you can do is love someone enough to let them fail, because sometimes failure is the greatest teacher. Sometimes hitting rock bottom is the only way to find solid ground. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is step back and let someone face the natural consequences of their choices. Travis isn't the only one who's been in recovery this year. I've been in recovery too. Recovery from enabling, from fear-based parenting, from the guilt that told me I had to fix everything for my child. Now I know better. My job was never to fix Travis. My job was to love him, guide him when he asked for guidance, and let him become his own man, even when that process was painful to watch. Margaret would be proud of both of us, I think. Proud of Travis for finally facing his demons, and proud of me for having the courage to let him do it alone. That's the real lesson here. Love isn't always gentle. Sometimes love is tough, uncomfortable, even brutal. But if it's rooted in genuine care for the other person's growth and well-being, it's still love. Maybe the truest kind of love there is. My son isn't perfect. Neither am I. We're both works in progress, both learning, both trying to be better than we were yesterday. And in the end, that's all any father can ask for. That his son keeps trying, keeps growing, keeps moving forward. Even if the steps are small, even if the progress is slow, even if there are setbacks along the way. Because the journey toward becoming who you're meant to be is never easy. But it's always worth it. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had to make a tough choice with someone you love, knowing it might hurt in the short term but help in the long run? How did you find the courage to follow through? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like. Subscribe to this channel for more real-life stories about families, relationships, and the hard lessons that shape us. And share this with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who's struggling with that balance between helping and enabling, between protecting and preparing. Thank you for listening to my story. I know it wasn't easy to hear, just like it wasn't easy to live through, but I hope it gave you something to think about. Maybe even something that might help you in your own life. Take care of yourselves and each other. Remember that real love sometimes requires tough choices, and sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is the space to fail, to learn, and to grow into who they're meant to be. Until next time.